The Adventure of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain Longman Simplified English Series Read by Naramon Phansamrong Chapter 26 Lost in a Cave Now to return to the chair of Tom and Becky in the picnic. They danced along the passages with the rest of the children visiting the familiar wonder of the cave, such as Aladdin Palace and the Castle Hall. When the game of hide and seek began, Tom and Becky played until they lost interest in it. Then they wandered down winding passages, holding their candles up and reading the network of names. There's an as they stand in candle smoke on the rocky walls. They went on and on, smoke their own name under an overhanging cliff, and proceed. Presently they come to a place where a little stream of water has throughout the centuries formed a filmed waterfall. In sparkling stone, Tom placed his small body behind it to light it up for Becky, and found that it had a sort of steep, natural stairway enclosed between narrow walls. At once, the ambition to be a discovered seized him. They made a smooth mark for future guidance, and moved this way and that, far down into the depth of the cave. In one place they found a white hilt, from the roof of which hung a great number of shining white pillars of stone. After wandering and admiring, they left it by one of the numerous passages that opened into it. This soon brought them to a lovely spring, the basin of which seemed to be decorated with sparkling diamonds. It was in the midst of a cave, where great columns rose from the floor to meet those from the roof. Some had already joined. The children marveled at this distance of the ceaseless water drift of centuries under the roof. Beach has packed themselves together, thousands in a bunch, and they come flocking down in hundreds, dashing furiously at the candle. Tom seized Becky's hand and hurried her into the first passage. They came to, and by turning into every new passage they met, they at last got rid of the troublesome creatures. Then Tom found an underground lake, which stretched away until its shape was lost in the shadows. He wanted to explore its borders, but decided that it would be best to sit down and rest for a time. Now, for the first time, the stillness of the place laid its lamp and cool hand upon the mighty for the children. I wonder how long we've been down here. Tom, says Becky. We better go back. Yes, I think we better. Can you fight the way, Tom? It's all mixed up to me. I think I can fight it, but the bet. If they put out both our candle, we'll be in a fault difficulty. Let's try some other day. They start off along a passage, looking at each new opening to see if there was anything familiar about it. But they were all strange. Oh, Tom, never mind the beds, said Becky at last. Let's go back that way. We seem to get through and brought all the time. Tom stopped. Listen, says he. The silence was so deep that even their own breathing seemed loud. Tom shouted. The shout went echoing down the empty avenues and died out in the distance in a faint sound that was just like smoking laughter. Oh, don't do it again, Tom. It's too horrid, said Becky. It is horrid, but I better, Becky. They might hear us, you know. And he shouted again. Oh, Tom, you didn't miss any mark. Becky, I was a fool. No, I can't find the way. It's all messed up. Tom, we lost. We are lost. We can never get out of this awful place. Oh, why? This we leave the altars. She sank to the ground and burst into such a dreadful storm of tears that Tom feared that she might go mad. When her weeping became a little less violent, he begged her not to give up hope. Then he began claiming himself. He told him not to talk like that again, for she was as much to blame as he was, she said. So they moved on, aimlessly, for all they could do was to keep moving. After a time, Tom took Becky's candle and blew it out. Words were not needed. She knew that Tom has a whole candle and 3 or 4 pieces in his pockets, yet he must use as little as possible. Then the children began to feel worried, but they tried to pay no attention. Movie was at last programmed and might have a good result, but to sit down was to invite curtains death. At last, Becky with lamp refused to carry her any further. They sat down. They thought of home, of the friend there, and above all, of the sunlight. Weariness weighed so heavily on Becky that she fell asleep and Tom was grateful. He sat lost in thought of previous times. When Becky woke up, she gave a gay little laugh, but she stopped it suddenly, and a groan followed. "Oh, how could I sleep? I wish I had never worked." "No, no, Tom, I don't. Don't look so. I won't say that again." They rose and wandered along, hand in hand, and hopeless a long time after this. Tom said that they must go quietly and listen for dripping water, because they must find a spring. They found one, and Tom said that they must rest again, but were fully dressed. Yes, Becky thought that she could go on a little further. She was surprised to hear Tom disagreed. Nothing was said for some time. Then Becky broke the silence. "Tom, I am so hungry." Tom took a big cake from his pocket and divided it, and Becky ate with good appetite. Tom pretended to eat his share. There was an abundance of cool water with which to finish the food. Soon Becky suggested that they should move on again. Tom was silent, and then he said, "Becky, we must stay here. Where there's water to drink, this little prick of candle is our last." Becky cursed again. At length she said, "Tom, well, Becky, they miss us and search for us. Perhaps they're searching for us now." "Why, of course they are. When would they miss us, Tom?" "When they got back to the boat, I suppose." "Tom, it might have been dark then. Would they notice that we hadn't come?" "I don't know. Anyway, your mother would miss you as soon as they all got home." A frightened look in Becky's face made Tom remember she was not to have gone home that night. The Sunday morning might be half spent before Mrs. Chapter discovered that Becky was not at Mrs. Harper's. In a moment, a new batch of grief from Becky showed Tom that the thought in his mind had struck her also. The children fastened their eyes upon the bit of candle and watched it melt slowly and pitilessly away. They saw the little flame rise and fall, and then suddenly the horror of utter darkness enveloped them. How long afterwards it was that Becky worked to fight herself, crying in Tom's arms. Neither could tell. Tom said that it might be Sunday, or perhaps Monday. The house crawled by, and again the captive felt faint with hunger. Tom's share of the cake was divided and eaten, but it seemed to leave them hungry than before. Presently, Tom said, "Phew, did you hear that?" Both held their breath and listened. There was a sound like the faintest, far-off shout. Instantly, Tom answered it again. Its sound was heard, and apparently a little nearer. "They're coming. Come along, Becky. We're all right now." The joy of the prisoners was almost unbreathable. Their speed was slowed, however, because peace were rather common and had to be guarded against. They soon came to one. Tom lay, fell and reached down, but he could not touch the bottom. It might be 3 feet deep. It might be 100. They must stay there until the charge came. They listened. The distant shouting were growing more distant. A moment or two more, and they had gone altogether. The heart-breaking misery of it. Tom shouted until his throat ached, but it was of no use. He thought hopefully to Becky, but long time passed and no sound came. The children fell their way back to the spring. The time dragged on. They stepped again, and awoke hungry and miserable. Now Tom has an idea. It would be better to explore some of the side passages then. To remain idea, he took his calf strings from his pocket, tied one end to a big stone, and started with Becky, unwinding the lines as they crossed along. At the end of 20 steps, the passages end in a pit. Tom fell below, and then as far down the corner as he could. At that moment, a hand holding a candle appeared from behind a rock. Tom gave a great shout, and instantly that hand was followed by the body. It belonged to the skin jaw. Tom was turned to stone. To his immense relief, the spinner felt. Tom told Becky that he had only shouted for luck, and they crept back to the spring. But hunger and misery after a time makes one forget one fear. Another worrisome west and another long sleep approached. The children awoke sick with hunger. Tom believed that it must be Wednesday or Tuesday or even Friday or Saturday now. He proposed to explore another passages. He felt willing to rescue Joe and all other turtles. But Becky was so big that he could not be roused. She said that she could wait now, where she was and died, and would not be long. She told Tom to explore if he should, but she begged him to come back from time to time and speak to her. She made him promise that when her last hours came, he would stay by her and hold her hand until all was over. With a lump in his throat, Tom pretended to be confident of finding the searchers out of the cave, and with the knife drink in his hand went crawling down one of the passages with hunger and sorrow and vision of their coming fate.